Social media is making us less social. Social media is making people only know how to interact online through Facebook or through a text or through a phone call. And then the second they get in public, they no longer know how to be their authentic self. They feel authentic on the internet, but when they get around these people in person, they don't know how to communicate or interact. I feel like social media is a major disservice to our society for basic things like customer service. People don't know how to be in a job and have effective customer service anymore because they're losing basic social skills. And social media is causing people to not know how to be respectful, to not know how to just have common courtesy because they don't understand it anymore. They're so engaged only online or so engaged on their phone that we're lacking basic social skills or basic skills used for just a job. And I don't know, sometimes social media really bothers me sometimes. I've talked on here before and I know I'm on social media, but it's bothersome to me. I was at a store and a lady that I was just talking to last night on Facebook 100% avoided me on purpose. I get that we all do this sometimes because we're in a hurry, but this is a common theme. To me, it's listen, if you can be my friend on Facebook or through text, you should be my friend in person. And it's just, I don't like where the society is leading because what will this end at? Where will we be in 10 years when people only know how to be engaged on their phone?
So I've never heard anyone else explain it this way, so I'm going to take a moment to do it. I think that the fundamental issue, the fundamental problem with social media is the fact that many creators that people follow are dirty mirrors. What the fuck do I mean by that? When you create your content, you help reflect back the people who watch you, them at themselves so they can know themselves better. But when the mirror is dirty, or when you present an augmented or a false version of your life or your story, and you are a funhouse mirror that makes me feel like a fucking Picasso painting, that's what makes me then feel like garbage because I'm looking to see myself reflected in you so I can know myself better and understand this human experience more fully and wholly, and I feel like a complete failure because you are falsely projecting this aspirational life that maybe you don't even live. This is why I appreciate a day in the life video. I made one that I didn't even post yet that I'm going to, which was the day in the life in New York City of somebody who's looking to fucking feel anything. Because you know what? That's a real story about me, Justin Schumann. Take some Windex, and to me the Windex is your authenticity, and scrub that mirror clean and let me see myself more clearly. And then you're probably like, but who the fuck would care to hear my actual shit, right? If I don't embellish, if I don't glamorize a little bit, why would this be interesting to someone? Even if people are so self-centered and have none of that attention span, that's basically what you're indicating. Even if they don't care about Justin's shit, they care about their own shit enough that if my story about my shit eerily resembles their shit at all, and they feel like they can know something about themselves or solve their problem by watching me talk about my shit because we're so self-centered, they're likely to watch and to follow. So just by me showing up and doing me and being me and talking about my life and my struggles and my flaws and my imperfections and my wins, whether you actually care about my shit or not, if I'm able to do that in a way that helps you to understand yourself better, you're more likely to follow me, you're more likely to engage with me, and you're more likely to enjoy what I post because it actually helps you know yourself better. People are posting shit that not only doesn't help people know themselves better, it makes them feel even less secure and less sure of themselves because it's so augmented and fucked. That's why I'm such a proponent and showing up every single fucking day on this platform and on all platforms talking about authenticity on social media. Because 1, it's what we need. 2, it's a great way to practice your own. And 3, when you show up and you are yourself, your true real self that you found probably by telling stories and figuring out who the fuck that even is, you write the sweetest little permission slip to the people who watch you to do the very same for themselves. And then that cycle begets itself and continues to proliferate and create more content that actually resembles real life.
This will be the most accurate explanation as to why social media makes people depressed. So I'm sure you've seen the headlines, I'm sure you've heard this before, but let me fully explain it to you. Social media makes us depressed because when we scroll on any of these apps, let's say for an hour, we might see 60 people's different lives. And maybe half of them were better looking than us. They had something we wanted. They were living a better life maybe. Basically, we place that person we saw online in our social hierarchy above us. And you're not doing this in your thinking mind, you're doing it in your subconscious mind, the one you can't really see. And so that's why once you get off social media or after a while being on here, you can start to feel like you hate your life, like you don't want to live your own life, your only life. That's because social media, as cringy as it sounds, it's a highlight reel. It's people looking the best. It's people in the best lightings. It's people putting the best clips of their life together. And when you see all this, you kind of place yourself lower than all of these people and you start to think like, my life just sucks, like I said. And so there's a couple things you can do if you kind of get what I'm saying, if you understand what I'm saying. First, it's really important to find direction in your own life. Because I noticed for a long time when I was lost in life and I was going online trying to like find direction or look up to people, there was just too many things being thrown my way. I didn't know what to do. I had analysis paralysis. And because of that, I never started to move up in life or actually build something because I just kept watching other people's lives. But as soon as I started to focus more on like creating instead of consuming, I started to become more happy with my own life. Another thing that also helped me is realizing what type of state, like mental state I'm in before I go on social media. I notice when I go on social media when I'm like, let's say in a weak mental state, like I just haven't had the best day, I compare myself too much and I feel like even more shit. But if I go on here like on a good day, I actually laugh at stuff. Like I actually like to see people improving or living their best life. And I think that's all because on good days, I actually feel like I can become like that person I envy. But on bad days, I feel like I'm just worthless. Like I can't do shit with my life. So when I see somebody I envy, I'm like, fuck them. And lastly, literally just cutting social media out, bro. Like, do you really need to be on here this long? Like, what are you actually doing with your time on here? Are you bored or are you wasting your time? And so for me, I personally set a 2-hour time limit on every single social media app. So once I am on any of these apps for 2 hours in total, it gets cut off. And this causes me not to be on these apps so long and it caused me to actually live outside in the real world. I hope I made all that clear to understand. I hope this video kind of helped you out because social media in real life is totally two different things. You can be a G in real life.
Okay, so I kind of want to talk about something that I haven't talked about a whole lot before, and that's just understanding that posting on social media definitely comes with a certain amount of drawbacks. One of those being just the fact that people tend to assume your character, your intentions before meeting you. I feel like I try to portray myself in the most genuine and authentic way that I possibly can. And so it's difficult to deal with the reality that there will be people that simply don't like you for who you are. And I genuinely tend to approach that with more of a stoic attitude and try not to care about what people think, right? But then at the same time, as someone that does social media, especially trying to do it full time, there's also this dilemma where people's perceptions of you and people's acceptance of you is ultimately tied into your income and what you're able to achieve on social media. So I think that's one of those things that people don't think about. And I'm not at all saying that you shouldn't try social media, because there's been opportunities that I've gotten that I would have no way of ever met the people that I was going to meet or been able to do the things that I've been able to do without it. But there certainly are drawbacks. And one of those being people that don't even know you or have never met you have preconceived notions about who you are. And that's difficult to deal with at times, because I just want to be as honest as possible. But sometimes there'll be people that just, no matter what you do, won't be able to accept that, and you have to deal with that. And I'm not at all trying to play like a victim or anything like that, but I think that's a reality that isn't expressed enough.
Social media has absolutely destroyed your self-esteem. When you are constantly seeing pictures and videos of other people living their best life and they have a certain appearance, or they're posting all of these cute pictures with their partner, and you're comparing your own life to that, thinking, I don't look like that, or my relationship with my partner doesn't seem like it's like that, or my life doesn't look as luxurious as that. Do I need to get that in order to be happy? Do I need all of those things in order for my life to feel fulfilled? So the answer is no, because social media is an illusion. Everyone's posts, no matter what it is, usually is just a fraction of their life, if that. People post a lot of their highlights. Now there are a lot of people starting to post a little bit more authentic content out there, but still a lot of people post their highlights. So it is unrealistic for you to compare yourself in your day-to-day life to somebody's highlight reel. Be selective with the content that you choose to view regularly on social media, because it does add up and it does contribute to how you perceive yourself over the long term.
What's social media doing to our brain?
There's a book I love called Thrilled to Death. It's continually pressing on your nucleus accumbens that produces dopamine, continually pressing on the pleasure centers in your brain. But the problem with that is the more you press on them, they begin to become numb. And you need more and more excitement, more and more stimulation in order to feel anything at all.
My controversial but most humble opinion, social media has ruined relationships not because of porn, not because of micro-cheating, but because of over-analyzation. We have picked apart every single aspect there is to being in a relationship and expected not to have some sort of negative outcome as a result of that. It is a very well-known fact that human consciousness is both a gift and a curse, depending on how one chooses to use it. And people choose to believe some random person on the screen who they've known for 15 seconds rather than their partner who they've known for an extended period of time. How crazy is that?
You know, I've never really understood the consequences of being on social media until I started going through it. I've been making videos for 15 years. Started making YouTube videos and stuff, and none of them ever did well. And I always wondered, like, why my videos never did well, and it's like, because you couldn't handle it. I was never going to be able to handle this as a kid. Such an interesting thing, because like you get a bunch of people being like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you, like everything that you've been working so hard for is like finally paying off, and like you're working with these big brands and these companies that you dreamed of working with, like that is amazing, you must be so happy. And it's like I just feel like everyone fucking hates them. I feel like everyone hates everything that I do. And, like, I go look on the comments of Il Maquillage, and it's just people, like, fucking beating me to death. I mean, that I'm disgusting, I'm untalented, I'm the worst, these are terrible, like, I'm horrible. And then all of a sudden those comments are gone because the moderators got to them, and I'm like, I wonder what other people said. I only saw a few comments before they got taken down, so I know that they're saying even worse things, and it's like, this is my passion. This is what I love to do. I love to make videos. I love to make people laugh. I love to make people smile. Like, my whole purpose for being on social media is to inform and entertain. Like, those are my two purposes, is to inform and entertain. And it's just like, I feel like everyone fucking hates me, and I just want to quit sometimes. I can never do it right. Like, you're never gonna, I'm not perfect. Shocking, I know. I just want to talk to someone who's been through this. If I could just talk to Trisha Paytas on the phone for like an hour, like, how does she deal with it? Like, how do you deal with all of the hate? Like, how do you get through this? Because, like, I don't know. I've talked to everyone off the ledge. Like, I talked to my fiance every day about it, and to my best friend whose birthday is today, so I didn't want to inconvenience her. And, like, I try really hard to make things funny and to make things, you know, could help society in a way with the things that I say. And it's like, everyone just hates me. I'll get 10 positive comments, but then there's that one hate comment that's like, I actually hate you and I think you're disgusting. And it's like, I used to tell myself I'd never let them get to me. I'm like, I'll never let the hate comments get to me. I'll never. It's like, no bitch. No bitch. How is Justin Bieber still functioning? After everything that he's been through, how is he, like, still alive? Because, like, frankly, I wouldn't be. Never want to be a celebrity. I never want to be famous. Like, I never want to. That's why I stay right here on the internet, because I never want to be Taylor Swift. I never want it. I don't want to be them. Like, that is terrible. Like, I know they go through horrible things. Yes, they have money and they chose that profession, but, like, no one deserves to be treated the way that I have microscopically been treated, and I know they've been treated that way. And it's like, how do you do this? I'm exhausted. No wonder so many YouTubers quit. No wonder Jenna Marbles quit, y'all, because y'all do this shit. Oh, it's exhausting. I don't know.
So a big problem I see with dudes these days is whenever they see someone on the internet that they look up to, who might have a ton of followers, they automatically think that that person knows more than they do or is better than them. When you see someone on the internet or on social media, you see them through like rose-colored glasses. You just assume that they're perfect, they know everything, they must be way smarter than me. And I see lots of dudes on the internet who have huge followings, and the things that they're saying are complete ridiculous nonsense. And they're saying this to tons of guys, teaching this shit to tons of guys, and thousands, if not tens of thousands or even more, just eating this shit up and never questioning questioning it, believing those things to be true, which just leads them to being even more lost and confused. In reality, all these people on the internet are just like you. They're a person. They may have achieved more than you in a certain area that you haven't, but that doesn't make them much different than you. And the biggest problem is a lot of dudes are on the internet looking for information because they're at points in their life where they're not where they want to be. They might be really lost or unhappy. They might be in a really rough spot. So they get onto the internet and social media of all places looking for like guidance. They want like real help, but the advice they're getting from like influencers and other people is really not helping them at all.
You know what's so fucked up with social media, but also very cool at the same time? On one side, it enables me to connect myself with thousands of people across the world with the interests that I'm looking for. On the other, there's another problem. In the past, people used to compare themselves to people in their town. Nowadays, you can compare yourself with the entire world. And yes, comparing yourself to people is wrong, and you should only compare yourself to yourself from yesterday. The problem is all of us are hooked onto social media, so it is natural for us to see stuff like all these rich influencers and then tell us, oh fuck, I'm in a spot where I don't want to be. Why is everybody rich and I'm broke? Which, by the way, is not the case. 0.1% of the population is not 99% of the population. The problem is 99% of the population doesn't post because they don't want to show how miserable of a life they have. I purposely show parts of my life. You don't see all of my life. There are moments of life that I will tell you about in the future, but which I hope nobody will go through. I do real estate. There's a lot of nightmares that I tell people when I have my one-on-one coaching calls, but I do not tell everybody. HGTV makes stuff look much easier than it actually is. So this is simply a kind reminder to not believe in everything you see. I know you don't, but subconsciously you do. Peace.
If you don't believe social media is detrimental to your mental health and makes you compare yourself to all these other people online, listen to this. Also, I have pink eye, so ignore. I work in influencer marketing, so a lot of my job depends on sourcing and finding influencers to work with the brands that hire us. On my own social channels, I don't follow a lot of like cool girls just because like, I don't know, I love to travel, so most of my feed is filled with travel influencers. But right now we are sourcing that like cool girl look, and I'm sitting here starting to like feel bad about myself and judge my life versus their life and think I'm not skinny enough, I don't have a good routine, like I'm not doing anything with my life. I'm sitting here working my corporate 9 to 5 while they're out like doing cool stuff, influencing. And I feel like you don't really like think about the impact that scrolling every day on social media has on your mental health. Like I think people know that exists, but like I don't know, I feel like I'm like a case study of like, I don't do this and I'm doing it now and I'm just feeling bad about myself. That is also why I don't follow any of the Kardashians, because I literally used to like compare myself to their bodies, which is so unrealistic. So I unfollowed them and I've been fine with all that. So anyways, I guess let this be your sign. Like if you're exiting social media feeling worse than you did when you started to go onto social media for that moment, remove them, delete them, take a break, whatever.
Are people becoming more narcissistic?
Yes.
They are?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what impact is that having?
I don't even know where to start. Like, so I think it's affecting our relationships. It's affecting our happiness. It's affecting our professional ability. So this is what social media is doing. Social media and technology is externalizing our perception. So if I think about it, like think about a couple thousand years ago, what was my mind focused on? So I would go out to hunt. I'm looking for an animal. I shoot a deer, and then I walk 3 hours back. So for some amount of time, my mind is paying attention to the external environment. Maybe I'm talking with the people that I'm hunting with, but what is there to say? Like I can't talk to them for 10 hours a day. There's no substance, there's no news, right? We're like this tribal community. So if you really look at the history of humanity, our perception has been internally focused at least 50% of the time. Literally what we are paying attention to is our own thoughts, our own feelings, the voices, the desires, the drives that come within us. What technology has done is whole-scale externalize our perception. Social media makes this even worse because now we're doom scrolling, we're looking at what other people are doing. So we are starting to exist outside of ourselves, right? So this is where what social media is doing is externalizing our perceptions, building our ego. We're so focused on the judgment of other people. I see the amount of body, like subtle, low-level body dysmorphia that I see in young women is skyrocketing. So social media is making us focused on our external appearance. We lose our connection to ourselves. And then once we lose our connection to ourselves, we lose the capacity to gain confidence.